live stream. So the topic that I'll be discussing in this video today is in regards to why Sam from iCarly, aka Jennette McCurdy, basically proves why children end up hating their parents. Alright, some might consider this a controversial topic, but you already know on this channel we talk about controversial topics all the time, and we really need to discuss it because I believe this is important for us as what wants to really have this conversation. You feel what I'm saying? The reality of the situation is that the reason why children end up hating their parents long term, right, is just because parents to an extent are overbearing on their children. What do I mean by parents are overbearing on their children? They set these high expectations for their children, right? And God forbid if their children don't meet those expectations that the parents set, they start to be hard on them and they start to punish them. And some parents might even go to the extent of abusing their children. And it's like, you have to understand that, number one, a blessing is a gift from the Most High God, right? There are some people that are not even able to give birth to children. There are some people that are not able to conceive children. So when God blesses you with a child, or God blesses you with children, right? Your job as a parent is to try as much as possible to show them the ways of the Most High without being overbearing on your children, right? What do I mean by overbearing? Once again, you try to instill all of these high expectations, and if they fall short of those high expectations, you try to make it seem like they're less than. And it's like, it's not good, right? You're putting a lot of pressure on your children. You're putting a lot of expectations on your children. And you have to also understand that just because your children are clones of you, or what I like to call carbon copies of you, they're still people. They're going to grow up and become young men and young women that are going to have to live life for themselves, right? I'll give you some examples, right? Like I told you guys before, I'm Nigerian, right? You have to understand a lot of things about not even only Nigerian culture, but just African culture in general, or culture when it comes to third world countries. A lot of the parents expect you to either become a doctor, lawyer, or engineer, right? The reason they want you to become a doctor, lawyer, and engineer is because they want you to be able to make a lot of money. That is the primary reason. It's not that they don't want you to help people, but they're doing it, they're seeing it from the money aspect. Like, there's a lot of money in those fields. And the thing you have to realize is that this is the truth. Not everybody is cut out to be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer, right? As unfortunate as it might sound to some people who don't believe that, that is the reality. Some people are not cut out for those positions. Some people are not cut out for those jobs. So with that being said, when you start to force people to do those positions, when you start to force people to get into those types of jobs, it creates pressure on them, because if they don't perform to your expectation, you're going to chastise them. You're going to ostracize them. You're going to make them feel like they're less than, because that isn't what they wanted to do. You feel what I'm saying? That the reality of the situation is that as parents, all your job is to try to encourage your child, right? Whether it's encouraging your child through moral support, or encouraging your child by paying for their studies or whatever. Do what you have to do, right? But you don't want to be overbearing on your children, because you don't realize that when you become overbearing on your children, you're causing them to resent you. You're causing them to hate you, right? And you never know how your child might react to you when they get to a point where they're fed up with you and they're tired of you because of all you did in the past to upset them, to piss them off. You understand where I'm coming from? That's the truth. But the reality of the situation is that not a lot of people are going to say this, right? Now, some of y'all might be wondering, how does Sam from iCarly, aka Jennette McCurdy, come into the picture? She comes into the picture because, according to what I actually found out on Google a couple of weeks ago, later on this year, she's going to be releasing a book titled "I'm Glad My Mom Died." Now, let's really talk about the situation, right? Let's break it down, right? Woke family, you feel what I'm saying? Some people might wonder, damn, why would you come out and title a book like that? Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you, right? I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. Do I think it's a little bit too far? Definitely, because what I advise people to do is, if you're ever going through a personal issue that has to involve your parents or your family, keep it behind closed doors. Do not come out and do not come out and express it to the public. Because once you express it to the public, that is exactly how the public is going to see you. You feel what I'm saying? But if you keep it behind closed doors, now you know that it's a problem between yourself, potentially your therapist, or potentially the people that are in your close circle, if you have friends. You feel what I'm saying? But when you come out and you start to expel it to the public, it comes across as two ways, right? It's either that it's a very, very serious issue, but not that it's not a serious issue, but that's one of the options. And then another thing is that you're looking like you're pleading for help, right? People don't really talk about these things, right? People, because people are scared. Now, am I saying that you shouldn't come out and talk about how, you know what I'm saying, that you shouldn't talk about how you feel? No. But there's always ways to cultivate it. You feel what I'm saying? There's always ways to cultivate it. So, do I think like her coming out with the book talking about, like, especially titling it, "I'm Glad My Mom Died" is right? No, I think it's wrong 100%. But I'm not going to make it seem like I don't understand where she's coming from. That's exactly why I'm making this video today. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people do not realize that a lot of our parents put a lot of pressure on us to try to become somebody that we know we're not meant to be, right? You have to realize something, especially when it comes to these third world countries, right? A lot of your parents expect you to be a doctor, lawyer, and engineer, and in their mind, they don't believe that there's any other way for you to become successful without becoming a doctor, lawyer, engineer. Now, am I saying that that is completely true? No, because I don't think it is, right? We live in the information age, we live in the technology age. There are so many different ways for one to become successful, especially in 2021. Now it's just about you. What are you willing to do to separate yourself from the pack? What are you willing to do to become greater today? What are you willing to do today in order to be able to become the person you know you can see yourself becoming in the next 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? People are not willing to put in the work. You feel what I'm saying? But with that being said, especially to mothers and fathers that are coming from Western households that think that doctor, lawyer, engineer is the only job you can do, there are so many different jobs you can do, bro. There are so many different career choices. But the thing is that they put that pressure on you. You feel what I'm saying? They put that pressure on you. They try to tell you, if you don't do this, I'm going to disown you. If you don't do this, you're a disappointment to the family. If you don't do this, I will never talk to you again. Try to threaten you. And it's like, bro, like, you have to realize that all that pressure you're putting on your children, it's going to come back to bite you, not even bite them, because they might fulfill what you want, right? Whether it's to become those positions, or I'm gonna be real with you, some parents even try to force their children to get married to whoever they feel like they want them to get married to, instead of allowing their children to choose who they want to get married to. It's like you're trying to live your life through your children, and the reality is that you have to let your children live their life for themselves. Because if you don't allow your children to be able to gain a sense of who they are, they're gonna forever be lost, and they're gonna forever resent you. Parents don't realize this. So the reality of the situation, I'm just going to keep it a buck. This is for all the parents out there. Stop being overbearing on your children. It's going to come back and bite you long term. You can encourage your child, right? If you have to discipline your child. Like, because I'll be real. When I was younger, you already know what happened with the cane. You know what I'm saying? With the stick. But we're not going to incriminate ourselves on YouTube. With that being said, if you got to do that, hey, do it. I'm all for it. I got it when I was younger, and I'm probably going to do. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, the reality of the situation is that you don't want to be too overbearing on your kids. You do not. It causes them to resent you. It causes them to not want to tell you things. Imagine being a parent and having children, and your children don't even open up to you because they can't even trust you. That you'll either keep it in the family or that you won't judge them. That is exactly why a lot of children do not open up to their parents, because they can't trust their parents. You feel what I'm saying? So you have to understand that all of these things play a factor into why children don't trust their parents and why they believe that their parents are overbearing. This is resentment, bro. And you have to understand one thing. When your child starts to grow resentment for you, it's very, very hard for that child to let go of that resentment because of all of the things that you put them through during their childhood and even during their teenage years and their adulthood. It's very, very important to trust. Now, I'm not trying to say that you should be your child's best friend, because there's definitely limits and there should be definitely rules that you enforce on your child, but you don't want to do too much. We have to understand, there's people in life, there's balance. Now, am I telling you from time to time if you are overbearing it's a bad thing? No, but don't do it all the time. That's all I'm saying. Overbearing generally means you're doing it consistently. Most of the time, you do too much for them to just feel like they cannot breathe. They don't have a breathing space because they're going to get judged. And that causes them to grow resentment for their parents. So parents, please, any parent that's listening out there. You have a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, it doesn't matter, 12, you know what I'm saying? However old your child is or your children are, stop being overbearing to your children. I'm telling you, it's going to save you, right? This is life advice. This is child advice. You know what I'm saying? If you understand, it's because you're woke. If you don't understand, you're not woke. This is gonna be in this video. It's live stream. You feel what I'm saying? If you like this live stream, make sure you go spam that like button, leave comments, share this live stream with your friends, subscribe to the channel at Woke Bucks, WKS, tap the notification bell to get all the latest videos that I post. Patreon link will be down in the description below, and so will social media links. So make sure you go give those a check. Without further ado, this is gonna be in this live stream. This is Woke Bucks, and I'm out, man.